Mark Conte reporting from Wendy's. Wendy's. Scene of the discount meal, the fast food joint last night, you heard? Doesn't seem to be any riots here in New York, but a Wendy's in Atlanta, Georgia has burned to the ground because of another black man shot dead, murdered by police right out front. Holy smokes, you heard about it? Morning, everybody. Vinny D. Martini, good morning, everybody. Good morning, my brother. My brothers and sisters, here we are, New York City, Lower Manhattan. Just doing a little walk and talk today. I want to talk about this latest dust up. This is going to be big. This is another name, and this is another nail in the coffin. Another black guy slaughtered on the streets of Atlanta, Georgia, by police for the crime of falling asleep at the drive-thru. He fell asleep, and allegedly he was drunk. He fell asleep at the drive-thru. People started beeping the horns. The police came and ultimately shot him dead. So we'll look at that story. Also, again, racism flies. It's a two-edged sword. On one side of the sword, everybody's saying one thing. It's blacks, it's whites, it's Chinese, it's all these, it's an ethnic war. But on the other side of the coin, if you really study what Antifa is saying, they're really saying that we live in a police state, and when you strip away that police state, when you strip away the establishment's ability to use the police to hold the people down, you then free up other avenues of commerce, other avenues of sanity for the people. Now, that's a hard one to grasp because I tell you the truth, honestly, and I've been saying it all along, that I never really wanted to believe that. Oh, shit, look at this old dog just walking by. Oh, no. I saw an old dog crossing the street. I didn't see the guy attached to it. It's like, hey, buddy, where you going? So anyway, good morning, everybody. We're going to do a little live walkthrough. We're here in front of Wendy's, seeing if there's any action here in New York, see if they're going to burn Wendy's to the ground, because they burned one in Atlanta, Georgia last night. So what I was trying to say is that, I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say is that the rebels are addressing the issue of police brutality in this country. And by disarming the police and disassembling the police, we may have a chance. We may have a chance at real reform. I could tell you, though, it definitely seems, although it's kind of dead in New York, everything has moved on. There's no real riots. The only action now in New York is police driving around telling people to stop drinking outside on the curb, out in front of restaurants because the restaurants are closed. Well, that's about it. So I just want to start by here's a story: $600 billion higher education industry. Right, the college, the institution, the college institutions. I didn't know that $600 billion a year industry is spending money on mandatory diversity training for all faculty, staff, and students, including workshops on white privilege, where whites are told they are racist by the mere fact of their existence. That's crazy. How you doing? Hey, can I ask you a question? Do you believe in, and this is not personal, we're live on YouTube. Do you think that white privilege is a real thing?
What do you it depends on like how you look at it.
Right. How should I look at it? Tell me.
All right, you see what's going on right now?
Yeah, I do.
So it's like you could use it for two different things, like positive or negative.
Right.
So I feel like we're in a time right now where if like, let's say if you're not a racist,
right,
So you
I'm just
could,
getting close to you because my mic is on the
yeah,
hat.
like you could use your privilege,
Right.
you know, to stop like what's going on with the police and
Right.
you know the racist things that's going on.
Right.
See, I feel like, you know, you got a voice too.
Right.
So it's like you could reverse that privilege for good for
Right.
like minorities and blacks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
I see it more as a criminal justice reform issue.
Yeah.
I do see that. I do agree that minorities are targeted and such, but there's a lot of white people getting their asses kicked by police too. So
Yeah.
I think we all agree on police reform and you know, defunding police and all that stuff. But the idea that you know, I saw a clip that said that some whites feel like the slur white privilege is right up there with the N-word. Would you agree with that?
Here's how I look at.
And I'm not asking you because you're a black person. I'm asking you because
Yeah.
you just happen to be here. And I'm doing,
Nah.
you know what I'm saying?
I look at all of this as a
Yeah.
form of culture. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, like, you know, like I feel like culture right now.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's the way you live, and it's the way you carry yourself.
Right.
But I also look at it too as, you know, like growth and development and unity.
Right.
So basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, even though like we in it's a negative situation right here.
Yeah.
Like us coming together.
Right.
Like it's
Talking
a form
about
of
it.
culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, that's all it is.
I think we're going in the right direction. I think that I didn't like that Black Lives Matter. Maybe I did like it, but Black Lives Matter kind of got hijacked by this Antifa group that was smashing all the windows and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a different agenda. They believe that tear down the police state, and everybody benefits. You know, whereas Black Lives Matter is kind of a okay. We understand. You know, all lives matter. Black Lives Matter. What about the you know, the Asian people getting discriminated against right now? Everybody thinks that they're responsible for the Wuhan virus. You know, which is total bullshit. But I hear you, man. It's good talking to you. You know, I think we're. Do you think we're moving in the right direction? Do you, you know, do you see it as, where do you see us going in the next, you know, in New York?
Alright, man. With all this like COVID shit going on,
Right.
and this going on,
Right.
like I feel like all we need to really do is, you know, just come together, man, and just live. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I feel.
Right. If 99% of us, right? See, this is how I see it. 99% of us are being used by a 1% ruling elite, right? 1/10 of 1% controls all the wealth in our country. And here we are fighting over crumbs and thinking that it actually has something to do with race. To say that this white guy over here has more privilege than, you know, that black guy over there is superficial, really, because it's the billionaires, it's the guys that own these buildings, really, that are screwing all of us by taking all the shit for themselves and leaving crumbs for everybody else.
For real, like,
You know what I mean?
that's like the blood suckers, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
the 10%.
Yeah.
Like the 10% is the government, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like,
yeah.
Like planting a bad seed and
Right.
poisoning the minds of like people that, you know, they
Yeah.
don't, you know,
Yeah.
understand like what's really going on.
Right. It's the fight is amongst rich versus poor, but the rich versus poor will spin it in the media to say it's black versus white, or it's white versus other versus Chinese.
Like either way you like
that's
either,
that's what
I'm
it
just
is.
saying, like,
yeah.
either way you put it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the rich people are blood suckers, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they suck blood from the poor.
Right.
That's basically what it is.
That's
right
what they
now,
do,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Right.
Like, no matter how you put it, like, that's what it is.
Right,
and
right.
that's what I'm saying. Like the 10%.
Yeah.
or the
No doubt.
upper, or the, you know, upper echelon. So what's going on right now?
Right. Good
So
talking to you, man.
So that's basically what it is.
Good talking to you. Do you have any creative stuff that you're plugging? You a writer or a rapper or a musician, or you
Nah, I mean,
in your real time? You're just a lover.
I write music and all of that. I'm
Right,
in a
right.
group called Heavy Cali and shit. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I got music on YouTube and everything.
Oh, good for you. What's
You know
it?
what I'm
What? Say it one more time.
All right, my rap group is Heavy Cali.
Heavy Cali.
Heavy Cali.
Heavy Cali. Good.
know what I'm saying?
Good talking to you, man. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate
All right,
it.
peace.
Good. He's a good guy, man. So there you have it, right? Does white privilege exist? I don't know. Did he agree or didn't he agree? I don't know. So anyway, if you're joining me late, we're out in front of Wendy's. We're trying to make sense out of this this latest Atlanta shooting. But first, again, the education system seems to be pushing this white privilege nonsense. One proposal in southern Appalachian mountain region says, quote, inviting the community to campuses to tell them how their whiteness makes them privileged and racist is not going to fly well when poor whites resent being told their lives are somehow privileged. Right? Poor whites all over the Appalachian Mountains, right? Strung out as a result of the opioid crises. They have privilege, right? So you know where I stand on that. I don't think that. I think it's a matter of. It's in your mind, right? It's in your mind. So. But leading into this other story, right? So, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a police major says cops across America are on the verge of quitting amid protests against law enforcement. Wow. So apparently there's a movement within the police community. Let's walk down Broadway here in empty New York. A movement within police community that suggests that police are fed up for whatever reason, because most of them, right? Again, look, when you become a cop, right? When you become a cop, you take a psychological test, and that psychological test is designed to weed out weak people, and move to the front of the line people that like to break arms and break legs and break heads, and have no problem following orders for whatever reason. All right, so there lies the culture. Those people, of course, they're going to be, how you doing? Are going to be pissed off, right? Are going to be totally pissed off because they're not getting what they were promised. They wanted to crack heads. There's Urban Outfitter. Remember Urban Outfitter got looted? They painted up the facade there, and it seems like the looting for the most part is over, because all of the action moved to Chasville in Seattle. All of the real troublemakers, but everything is still boarded up. No sign of anything opening up anytime soon. Allegedly, retail is allowed to open for curbside delivery, but there you see Best Buy shut down, Journeys shut down, Urban Outfitters shut down. Why? Because there's no people. Why are they going to open? There's nobody here. Right? You got to open an economy simultaneously, or it'll fail. So, police take a pledge to make the community safer. Quote, I wouldn't wish this job on my worst enemy, says that same Oklahoma police major. So it's not a desirable job anymore, right? New York City, they defunded the NYPD by $1 billion. They were getting $6 billion a year. Empty New York. They were getting $6 billion a year, and now they're only getting $5 billion. So that's a nice chunk of change they took away from NYPD. That's it. Hit them in the pocket, man. Take away their money. Right? So, is revolution and change really in the air? Can you feel it? Do you think we're at a precipice now? Because things seem very, very confusing, if you ask me. I think people are terribly confused of what's going on in the world, right? That young man that I just talked to probably believes in his heart of heart that this whole thing is about black, right? When you talk to him, does he understand income and wealth inequality in this country? No. Does he have to? I'm starting to think he doesn't. All we have to do is say, all we have to do for this revolution is to agree that defunding police and getting the head crackers, the violent criminal element of policing in this country out of the way, and maybe we can open the door to bigger change. So, in another twist, as I said, everything is crazy. Antifa in Chasville, Seattle, begins reparations. Real reparations, where reparation by definition is where white people find some sort of soft spot for blacks for 400 years of slavery, and they give them something. They give them restitution for harm done. So Antifa in Chasville, Seattle begins reparations. White people are pressured to give blacks $10 each in the Capitol Hill Anonymous Zone, known as Chaz, right? I want you to give, this is one of the leaders saying, I want you to give $10 to one African American from this autonomous zone. You talk about stupidity. You talk about, see, this is not the same graffiti. You see Black Lives Matter spray painted on there? That's just people piling on, right? We already saw the authentic graffiti. But how ridiculous. Let me cross over. Cross over. How ridiculous that I should hand some black guy, just because of the color of his skin, $10. What if I did that right now, right? And I walk up to the first black person I saw and handed him $10. And it turns out that guy's a PhD in physics, and he invented the Finnegan pin that saved millions of lives across the world. And he's a well-known scientist and a millionaire. Because that happens all the time in New York. You never know who the millionaire is. You look at somebody, they look dirty and run down, their pants are falling down. The guy's got $50 million in the bank. Right? How ridiculous to think that I should walk up to the first black person I see and hand them $10 when I myself am struggling through this whole nonsense, right? And always have been. Right? It's just a ridiculous kind of notion. So if you're joining me late, I was over by Wendy's. We're going to talk about the unarmed man who was shot dead by white Atlanta cops in Wendy's drive-thru. So 10 p.m. Let's roll the tape back. 10 p.m. Friday night. Let's go down this way. It looks kind of quiet. 10 p.m. Friday night. A man goes to Wendy's. A black gentleman, 27 years old, goes to Wendy's and orders himself some food, or allegedly he was online to order himself some food. And he was a little tipsy, and he fell asleep at the wheel. He fell asleep inside the fucking, online, right? And people start beeping the horn, get out of the way, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, you know how that happens, right? It's late at night, people are hungry, what the fuck, this guy's sleeping. So somebody calls the police, right? So the video evidence is damning. There is a video. I'm not going to play it now. Go to the New York Post and you'll see the video. Again, this is going to be a big story. His name is Rashad Brooks. I mean, this is playing right into the hands of Black Lives Matter. They're going to be screaming and yelling and burning fucking shit to the ground now, right? Over Rashad Brooks is the next body in the fucking casket, right? So he was online Friday night and he's ordering some fast food. The video evidence is clear. He was unarmed. He's 27. He's a big boy. A big 27-year-old, two skinny white cops. And he's wrestling him. I saw the video. He's wrestling him. The cops are trying to wrestle him, and the cop pulls out his taser, and he tries to tase the kid, and the kid grabs the taser and fucking wrestles him, right? And they're fighting, right? He's not armed, right? A taser is not a deadly weapon, mind you, right? Despite what the police are saying. So they're fighting and arguing, right? Over what? Right? He took a sobriety test. Apparently he blew a negative. He's sitting in his car sleeping, so that's, I guess, DWI or DUI, whatever, and they're trying to arrest him for that, right? And he breaks away from them, right? Apparently with the taser, right? And the other cop shoots his taser at the guy, and the guy keeps running. And then the camera pans, and 3 shots ring out, and they kill the kid. Killed him, murdered him for what? For falling asleep at Wendy's? You can make up all the other shit, resisting arrest, fucking with police, all that shit doesn't matter. What was the reason? What was the reason that the kid died? What was the petty crime of falling asleep at Wendy's? Think about it, right? Is that a black issue? Is that a white issue? Well, skinny white cops in Atlanta, black guy, resisting arrest. I don't know. Make what you will with it. But so anyway, 27-year-old Rashid Brooks of Atlanta, father of 4. Ooh, he's got 4 kids, right? He fell asleep at the Wendy's drive-thru. He backed up traffic. Victim given sobriety test and failed, then was arrested. Brooks's lawyer, this is a good comment. Brooks's lawyer said, quote, "You can't say, as the police do, a taser is a non-lethal weapon." Right? Because that's what the police do. The police say, "Oh no, a taser, that's not lethal. That's not lethal force. That's good policing. We shoot you with the taser, and we don't have to kill you." Right? So they're on the record. The police are on the record saying that a taser is non-lethal. But now, the perpetrator grabs the taser and threatens to use it on the cop. Now it's lethal. Now they kill him. All right, so the lawyer makes a great point. Said you can't now say, the police can't now say a taser is a non-lethal weapon, but when a black man grabs it and runs with it, now it's a deadly weapon. That calls for you to kill him. Ooh, what an argument the lawyer has made. That's a great point, right? It's only lethal. It's non-lethal when we use it, but when you use it against us, oh, that's lethal, and we're going to shoot you and we're going to fucking kill you, right? We're going to kill you and widow your wife, and your 4 children will grow up without you. And it's just another day in policingville, right? Because that's what we do, right? That's what we are. We're a culture of violence, a police culture of violence and cracking heads. It's early in the morning here in Soho. It's not that early. It's about 10 a.m. Good morning, everybody. Vinny DiMartini in the chat. I can see the chat. I'm just walking and talking right now. We're down here in the Soho section. I like to come here, cobblestone roads. It's still very eerie for me to see this. And as I said before, I don't think it's coming back. I don't think that these restaurants or these high-end boutiques can survive without the tourism. And this is the new New York. What's gonna evolve? Somebody said our police act like third world policing. Yeah, you're probably right about that. So what else do we know? So protesters, in response, there's already images of this. The protesters in Atlanta burned the Wendy's to the ground. All right, protesters set fire on Saturday. The police chief, Erica Shields, resigned on Saturday. The cop who shot Brooks was fired, and the other cop was put on administrative leave. Possible charges against the cop: unjustified use of deadly force. You think? So that's a pretty heavy story. I think there's going to be a lot of backlash, a lot of kickback. Let's see how Antifa, what kind of signaling they're going to put out. What kind of messaging is going to come out of Black Lives Matter, right? Because it's pretty heavy. His name is Rashad Brooks. He's dead today. He didn't make it through the weekend because some cop decided to put 3 bullets in him because he fell asleep at the Wendy's. Now that's no justice, no peace, right? That really resonates, right? And that is, I mean, whether it's a racial issue, whether it's not a racial issue, it is clear that it's bad policing. That's what I think everybody could agree, that we have a culture of policing in this country that that disregards the humanity of the people it's designed to protect. I think that that's a given. I think we could all agree on that. You know what I'm saying? For falling asleep, I wonder if his dick was out. I wonder if he was, you know what I mean? I wonder if he was rolling a joint or something, or some other high crime or misdemeanor. Right? But it is crazy, you know. The police at any given moment can stop you and for something, just an ID check, or some kind of, you match a description, and that shit could escalate to them feeling their lives are in danger and wanting to kill you, and feeling they have to kill you because that's the proper thing to do. That is fucking insanity. So, as predicted, I told you that no, these boards down here in Soho wouldn't go unfettered. So you got a lot of graffiti popping up. This is the real graffiti, right? This is not the racist shit. These are artists coming down here now, painting, right? These are not the radical Antifa tags. Always study the tags. Study the art, right? These people are not damaging anything because they're literally painting on the boards that are going to be thrown away and removed anyway. They're not destroying property by doing that. But anyway, this shit will be up for a long time because it ain't coming back. There's some other messaging we could look at. For the kids who were killed by the police. Oh. Wow, kids killed by police. Look at this. This is interesting. Yana Stanley Jones, 7 years old. Tamara Rice, 12. Nicholas Hayward, 13. Tyra King, 13. Deonta Farrow, 12. Cameron Tillman, 14. 15, 13, 17. Wow. That's pretty heavy, man. It's pretty heavy. Children under fire. All for the love of policing. Does it make you feel safe? Ask yourself that. Does it make you feel safe that the Atlanta police Friday night murdered a man for falling asleep at Wendy's and protesting and saying, "Get your fucking hands off of me," and wrestling with the police because they were trying to, you know, I mean, do you feel safer? Was there another way to handle that? Is there another way to handle that? I mean, throw a net on the guy, you know. It just seems ridiculous, right? It seems so ridiculous. Oh, here's some cool art. Now this is destructive because it's right on the property. That's pretty wild, man, right? That's some fucking funky art right there. I love that shit. I guess they're famous people. It looks like, I don't know who it is. Post no hate. What is it? I guess it's paper. It feels like paper, and then it's spray painted over the paper. But it looks like the initial art is paper. You can see it's pretty firm too. Try to pick through it. It's pretty on there. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man. So empty streets. Marcus Conte reporting here on the Atlanta massacre. Should we call it that? The Atlanta Wendy's, let's call it the Wendy's lynching of Rashid Brooks, the next guy in the coffin. Here's some more art. Check this out. Black Lives Matter. You see how they're painting over the wood? These are some of the stores that got looted, I guess, or got their windows bashed. And there's our friend George Floyd. Right? Hello, George. Say hello to Rashid for us. Right? Some heavy New York art right there, right? What's up, my brother? What's up, my brother? George Floyd. So, right to bear arms, you know? Police are fading. It looks like the police are on the ropes, right? That's what it seems like. But there's really no change in evidence in Friday night's murder shows you that there really is no change in policing, no matter how they jump up and down saying they need more money and more training and different training. They need to be removed and start over, if that's really possible. It looks like Soho used to be. Soho used to be very artsy, and then it became very commercial. Like, this is a Coach store. Coach, they sell high-end bullshit, right? It's high-end pocketbooks, like $800 pocketbooks, just like as if you need an $800 pocketbook, right? But there used to be art galleries all along here. This used to be an art gallery. I lived on this block in the 90s, and there used to be art galleries all over the place. And someone says I shop at that place. I don't shop at fucking Coach. That's stupid, right? But it looks like the art is coming back. I hope it does. I hope a lot of these stores go out of business and never come back. And I hope that someday we have that resurgence in New York City art. I hope I'm still here. I don't know, because this is getting ugly, right? It's not even fun to be around anymore. It's like, it still feels like a museum of New York, you know? It's just empty, right? I mean, it's empty and it's boarded up still. And even the action, all the action moved to Seattle. Right? All the action moved to Seattle. It's not even fun anymore. There's nothing to cover. Make something up, right? You got to make up your own news, right? So thank you for joining me. Marcus Conte reporting here from Soho. Good morning, booty girl in the house. Kind of low energy right now. I got to pick up my energy level. Got to find something to do today. Find something to cover. Maybe I'll go track 5G towers. See a 5G? In Manhattan, the 5G towers are all over the place. See that? That's 5G right there. That right there. You could take that, right? You light it up and you go. You smoke the 5G before it smokes you. 5G. They're all over the place. Those towers are everywhere. And who the hell knows what's coming out of that big one down the block, the Freedom Tower. See that view of the Freedom Tower? Isn't that beautiful? Right on that block, there used to be the Twin Towers in the same location. You used to see two big buildings, and now you just see, they knocked out our two front teeth, and now you see a big middle finger. Right? That's how we got them, right? That's how we got them. So that was a good talk. That talk with that young. Whoa! Easy. Oh, relax. It's no rush, jerky. The New Jersey plates. No rush. Guy's got to fucking come right behind me and beep the horn. Get an ass kicking like that. Let's see him turn around. See what happens. I had a good day yesterday. I only had 3 fights. I didn't record any of them. It's freaking crazy, man. I tried to go behind someone's fence down by the water in this area called Red Hook in Brooklyn. And this guy was like, "I'm calling the police. Get the fuck out of my property. You're violating me. You're invading my space." I was like, "Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I'm down here and I'm walking and I want to see the coastline. And if you don't like it, you can call the fucking police, you idiot." Police don't come anymore in New York. You can call them all you want. They ain't going on. They ain't coming anywhere. Who's the other one? Some fat chick cut me off at the. I was trying to put my bike away, and there was only one dock. And you kind of fight. It's like fighting for a parking spot in New York. And she cut me off, and I was like, It's like, why don't you take out 2 bikes, one for each of your fat ass cheeks? She didn't like that. So anyway, oh look, some books on the street. I occasionally look at this stuff. Check it out. So people leave books in New York. They'll leave books out for others to read. Let's see what we got here. Getting straight A's. I don't know. I think the system is broken enough where nobody even cares anymore. Right? What good is a fucking A? Guerrilla marketing. Ooh. This should be retitled how to steal from your brothers and sisters. What else we got? Developing supervisory and team leaders. Wow, these are finishing. That's why they're out on the street. These are finishing books. These are totalitarian books. These are old. I'm on Linux. You know what's interesting? It just occurs to me, right? Is that sometimes in when revolution happens, example in music, right? When something new comes along in music, suddenly 60% of what you heard becomes obsolete. For example, like when I heard the Ramones for the first time in 1975, I said to myself, that was a game changer, and suddenly I couldn't listen to the 60s and 70s bands the same anymore because there was this new thing, this new sound going on. And I think politics are very similar. I think what has happened is in this flip, 60% of the bullshit has become obsolete. And people can't hear it anymore. They're not going to hear the same stupidity over and over again about, what is the cause of the problems. What is our problem? Our problem is income and wealth inequality. It always has been. It's several billionaires controlling so much wealth. We're the top, there's 3 billionaires that have more wealth than the bottom 50% of the country, right? Although Bernie Sanders is irrelevant and stupid and old and his message is, he's like dumb now, he seems dumb. He did tell people about that, and we should always be grateful that he was one of the leading forces in educating people on that, even though he didn't follow it himself. Do as I say, don't do as I do, maybe, for Bernie. So anyway, Marcus Conte reporting from Soho down here at the Freedom Tower. We're going to keep track of this this latest Atlanta murder. I think it's going to be a big deal. I think the blacks are going to get riled up about this because it's exactly what has been happening, and it's exactly what they say has been happening. There is no police reform. There's no, hopefully, maybe a lot of them, maybe the movement in policing will be to quit. Maybe more and more of them will quit, and we'll have a, legitimate opening, a legitimate chance to reform the country by removing the police state. So, Marcus Conte reporting. Have a great day, everybody. And become a Patreon of the channel if you haven't already. Go to marcusconte.com and I'll put it up right here. And become a Patreon or a one-time contributor of this fine channel. And there it is. That's my contact information there. marcusconte.com and shorthappylife. Marcus Conte. Marcus Conte reporting.